Hey, what's up Peak Life family? Welcome back to the channel. Recently I've been deep diving into Dan Martell, listening to his podcast, watching his YouTube videos, and especially reading and rereading his great book, Buy Back Your Time. And I've got to tell you, all of his content is amazing. Dan has these concepts, specifically how you can buy back your time, that apply fantastic for entrepreneurs, CEOs, and people with deep pockets. But it's got me thinking, how can people like myself as an employee or someone without a ton of extra cash in my pocket go about buying back my own time? We all have that feeling, the never-ending hustle, the long work hours, all to come home with endless chores and never enough time to do it. But after thinking about this, it doesn't have to end there, and you don't need to be rich to buy back your time. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 ways that you can reclaim hours of your week with little or no extra money. So here's the thing, when we think about buying back your time, we think of multiple assistants, nannies, and the personal chef. But that's really not the reality for most of us. And that's okay, because you don't need to be rich to outsource the small, time and energy consuming tasks. There are tons of affordable and simple ways that you can buy back your time, like I have. So let's jump right into it. First up, outsourcing small tasks. And I know the word outsourcing sounds expensive, but stick with me. You don't need to hire a personal assistant or a chef to reclaim some of your time. A great example of this is using a meal prep service. Over the years, I've used countless of them, whether it's Good Food or Fresh Prep, and I've found that the amount of time that it saves, not only in the meal prep itself, but more so in the planning and the grocery getting, has saved me countless hours. For about 10 to 15 bucks a meal, I can go on my computer when I'm not doing anything else and plan out an entire month's worth of what I want to receive. The prep is laid out extremely efficiently, where you have your list of all the ingredients that it comes with and exactly what steps to follow. The other great thing about this is that you can plan it when you're already full, compared to being in the grocery store when you're hungry and you end up buying everything that you don't need and none of the things that you actually did. I'm looking at you, chocolate chip cookies. Another one that I can't believe I waited so long to do was robot vacuums. I have a robot vacuum upstairs and downstairs. They go off every day at 8 a.m. And this means that I'm not having to sweep or vacuum. The robot just gets it. And the best thing with this, it's a one-time purchase. I didn't have to hire an expensive house cleaner that disrupts my day and comes in every couple weeks. And also I found that the jobs these robot vacuums do are way better than what I was doing when I would vacuum every couple weeks. The one I've been most impressed with is the Shark, and I'll leave a link down in the description for what I've been using. And now let's get a little more techie. And that's with using the biggest buzzword of today, AI. One of the easiest and cheapest ways to buy back your time is to use a tool like ChatGPT. It's essentially the equivalent of having an intern or a personal assistant to do all of your rough first drafts. Whether you're writing emails, reports, or wanting some advice how to approach a tough conversation, a tool like ChatGPT can get rid of that anxiety of staring at a blank page. And instead you can just let it know what your desired outcome is, a bit about yourself and your communication style, and it will do a fantastic job at creating that first draft. Now I found you always have to edit this, but oftentimes that's going to be way better than what you would have created on your own. I use this for work all the time. Anytime I have an email or a report, instead of spending that 30 minutes crafting the perfect email, you can type in quick outline and get chat to help you generate it. This has saved me hours. Plus the best thing is that you're no longer staring at that blank screen, watching the cursor blink, wondering what to say first. Now I think a lot of people have some apprehension about using AI, but it's not about cutting corners. Instead, it's about working smarter. The way I really think about it is just as if I asked an intern or a lower level position to help me out with this first draft. I still have to edit it and make sure everything's correct, but it will get me there a lot quicker. Next up, let's talk fitness. Now this one might surprise you that there's ways that you can save time, but simplifying your workout routine can save you hours a week. After I joined CrossFit, I never looked back to the regular gym where I would have to plan my routines, commute there, and gain the motivation to go. Instead, with CrossFit, I have a specific class time that I go to every day. This means no more thinking, oh, whether I should go or if I should wait till later. No more planning my workout, no more planning my warm-ups or my cool down. Instead, all I have to do is show up and everything's already laid out. Plus, it has a great sense of community, so I get a lot of my community and my connection time while I'm working out. And another option is to look at what gym you're going to. and see if there's one closer to your house or one that's on your way home from work. This way you can cut down on the commuting time and get back those valuable minutes. So if fitness is a part of your daily routine, as it should be for almost all of us, think about ways that you can streamline it so that you're still getting the physical and mental benefits, but without all the additional time that isn't really helping. Now let's move on to learning. I love reading. I always have about 3 books on the go. I'm usually reading 1 or 2 hard copies and listening to a book on my commute to work. But finding time to read a full 10-hour book, or if you're reading something like Atlas Shrugged, that might take about 30 hours, can be very hard to schedule in. And that's where book summaries come in. I've been using Shortform for over a year for its supercharged book guides. When I get a recommendation for a book, I'll look up the guide on Shortform and first of all see if it's worth reading the entire book. And if it is, after I finish it, I find that these guides are a great way to go through and rinse and repeat that information so that you don't forget it. The way I think about it is when I'm listening to a book, I'm indexing that information for later recall. And using something like Shortform, I can go in and see all the principles, and instead of having to find which chapter it was in or reread a whole 10-hour book, I can get the summary and the key learning moments in under 15 minutes. So if you're interested in this, I highly recommend checking out Shortform, who I've partnered with for a discount for you and a free trial. Check the link down below to get started. Now let's talk about delegation. In his book, Dan Martell emphasizes the importance of giving other people on your team ownership of responsibilities and projects. And this applies even if you're not the business owner. I think all of us can understand and be frustrated when we're working on tasks that aren't aligned to our role. I know this used to happen to me all the time. I would do something just because I was the one who could do it, even if it wasn't a part of my responsibilities. At work, we've implemented EOS, which is the Entrepreneurial Operating System. And in that, there's a tool called Delegate and Elevate. And the gist of this is, you need to be able to better delegate tasks down to other people where it's more aligned with their role and allow them to elevate their contributions. The goal isn't just to dump your work on others. Instead, it's to make sure that everyone's working within their zone of genius. The better you get at delegating, the more free time you'll have to work on the important tasks, the things that you love doing and you're good at and makes you money. This can be as simple as handing off administrative tasks to someone lower in your department. Or for more complex projects, instead of tackling it alone, reassigning those responsibilities so that more people can be working on them sequentially. Delegating is what's going to allow you to focus on what you do best. And now before we wrap up, here's a few bonus tips. First is batching tasks. When we're working on something, it takes a while for us to get in that right mindset. And a great way to optimize this is to batch similar tasks, like responding to emails, doing follow-up calls, or meetings. For example, I have heavy meeting days on Monday and Thursday, and this leaves my Tuesday and Wednesday for deep work, and my Friday as a catch-up day for any other high important items that I didn't get to earlier. By batching tasks and knocking them out all in one go, you're able to minimize your context switching, which keeps you more focused and produces better work. And a second tip is time blocking. Set aside specific chunks of the day for doing the most important tasks, and then set aside specific times for when you're going to check your emails, when you're going to have meetings. This way, while you're working on your deep work, you're not worried about when you're going to respond to that email because you know you have that block of time coming up after lunch where you're otherwise not as productive. Try this out, and I think you'll be amazed at how much more focused you are and how much more work you can get done. So there you have it. We covered meal prep services, robot vacuums, using AI, simplifying your fitness routine, book guides, and learning how to delegate. These are all ways that you can start buying back your time to free up more time for what you care about without having to spend a ton of money. Time is all of our most valuable resource. And with these simple strategies, I hope that you can start buying back some of your time for what matters most to you, whether that's spending more time with loved ones, improving your fitness and health, or just absolutely crushing it at work. So thanks so much for watching. And please let me know down in the comments which one of these strategies you're going to apply to your life. And if you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you hit that subscribe button to help support this channel and share our message where we journey together to design, build, and live our own peak life. And if you enjoyed this video, check out the one up here, which is all about applying the principles of Ayn Rand, the author of The Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged. Thanks, and we'll see you there.